Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I am going to be relearning how to knit. I am so excited for this. I used to knit in high school. And actually a little bit before that as well too. And I used to mostly just like make scarves, and it was not something I ever really got very good at, if I am being 100% honest. But these past like 6 to 8 months, I have been relearning how to crochet and have dived into some really fun projects for myself. And I did like a bunch of Christmas presents as well too. If you want, you can check out my very first YouTube video. It's a crochet vlog, and I made a little bear balaclava. It was like the first thing I made in crochet in like 2 years. And you can see all my little trials and tribulations relearning how to do that, but whatever. But yeah, I got really good at crochet actually, and some of the projects, which I actually don't know if I've even showed off on this channel, but I guess I'll put in a couple of photos here of things that I made for people's Christmas presents. And I kind of went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, and I actually saw some patterns. While I was purchasing crochet patterns, I found some knit patterns that some of you are probably familiar with. They are called Le Pole and also Petite Knit. It's the first time I ever heard of these two pattern making businesses, and I thought the stuff that they made was so beautiful. I was like, okay, I bought some patterns, and basically my big goal is that after I was done with Christmas, I was going to relearn how to knit. Today, I may not do as much hands-on stuff. I'm probably gonna just be watching some beginner tutorial videos and maybe just like trying some things along, but I'm not going to be building anything quite yet. So because I knew I was going to learn how to knit, I did do a little bit of a splurge. Granted, I got a very, very nice gift from my partner's mom for Christmas of just like a little Visa gift card. And so I decided to use that towards this knitting needle set. This is the Clover Takumi like interchangeable needle set. I will just say that if you are someone that is starting off, you really do not need to start off with one of these. And honestly, even if it was like just me, like if I hadn't gotten that Visa gift card, I would not have gotten these as like my first go around. I would have just gone and picked up like some random ass pair and like not really cared. I already knew that I was like, okay, you've knitted before. You know you're gonna learn, you're gonna relearn it quickly, and you know you're gonna get addicted to it and like go make a bunch of stuff. All you really have to do is just keep your eyes out. Like I got them on Joann Fabrics, and it was like 50% off, like even after the holidays when I got back. But if you are just like an absolute noob, you really don't need to go for this kind of thing. So why relearn to knit? Part of it is just because I really like fiber arts in general. I have learned to sew, and that is also another hobby that I really very much enjoy. So for me, it's just more about the aspect of just like learning all of like the little different trades. There's little things that I think that knitting does better than crochet, just like there's things that crochet does better than knitting. I am someone that just likes to be well-rounded and likes to have the option of both. If you understand that personality type, then you will get it. If you don't, you don't. You might be happy just picking one versus the other. But I am I need to learn it all kind of thing. I want to learn both sides. I want to have all the options for me. And also just sometimes the patterns for knitting is just like really beautiful. I want to make socks. I think that was the thing that made me want to really kick it in and learn how to knit was the socks and sweaters. That's kind of like mostly what I'm looking for in it. So I am going to dive in. I'm just going to start watching some YouTube videos and maybe taking some notes. can't believe it. I I knitted a little bit. My hands are a little sore because I am definitely doing like newbie monkey grip right now, but I know I just need to give it some time. It'll relax. However, I figured out how to cast on, knit, and purl. Purling is still a little bit of a mess, but that's fine. My stitches are actually not too bad. I definitely need to like relax my stitches. However, what I've done so far actually looks like pretty even, other than just like a couple things here or there. Okay, so I need to wrap up because I need to go pick up my partner from work, and then I am going to pick up my new little family member, my new cat. So I will be taking a little bit of a break, give my hands some time. I need to digest what I've learned. Later on this evening, I will pick up back up some more and just do some practicing. It's the next day. Don't mind me, I might not talk as much. I woke up with a pretty bad headache today, which thankfully has gone away. I had some coffee, I made sure I had good food, drink a lot of water, and I am feeling better, but I still wanted to sit down and get some knitting done. It's actually feeling like it's going pretty well. I've had some like little squares that I made, and I've just been frogging the stuff that I'm doing and just doing it over and over again. Casting on is feeling really good. So is just like a basic knit pattern. The only thing that is really tough for me still is purling, which I think there's nothing else I can do with that except to just keep practicing it and give it more time. So I think I'm gonna be mostly practicing purling today and try and get that done. Even though I'm still practicing it, I don't expect myself to get super perfect, especially before my first project, because I do want to make that Sophie scarf, like I said when I started the video yesterday. And it doesn't look like there's any purl stitches in there, but it does look like there's some like increasing and decreasing steps that I will have to learn. Today, I'm just gonna keep practicing my stitches because I am the type that just likes to practice a little bit and get some basics down. But I do think tomorrow I might try the Sophie scarf a little bit. I probably will not finish it before I edit and publish this vlog. If for some reason I do, what a great surprise. That's awesome. But I'm not going to push myself to finish it if it's just not there yet. I just had a great idea. Maybe after I practice some stitches today, especially my purling, I might go ahead and do maybe a gauge swatch with this yarn. I think this time around, as I start to take things like knitting and crocheting more seriously, I think something that I want to instill in myself is a practice of doing like the gauge swatches, because that is something I really do not do, you guys. And it really kind of seems like a lot of people don't. And honestly, it's probably a great way for me to like quickly practice my stitches anyway before I dive into the beginning of this project. I'm still a little bit tired from my headache, so I'm gonna stop yapping and go make myself tea, and we're gonna get to practicing. I actually think it turned out pretty well. The purl stitch is still a little awkward for me, which is fine, but the fact that I got into a little bit of a rhythm at all, or that I've done all of this like without dropping stitches or doing anything like that, is like incredible. So I am pretty proud of myself there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and frog this little project that I've done, and I am gonna get started on a little swatch for the Sophie scarf. And I'm gonna need to see if the needles and yarn that I'm using for the Sophie scarf are gonna be okay, or if I might need to change it. guys, I did it. I did my gauge. I did my swatch. It looks like it's gonna be about an inch bigger than what the swatch gauge was intended, which is fine because I'm using thicker yarn than what is recommended, but I did decide to switch to the needle size that the project recommended. Once I got to the last row, I definitely realized I didn't practice casting off. So it looks so awful. You can see how tight it looks. So this top one is the cast off, and then this bottom one is where I cast it on. You can really see how tight I accidentally made it. So that would be something I need to learn how to fix. Oh my god, casting off was really hurting my hand. I should have been a little bit more careful with my wrist and my hand and not the death monkey grip, but unfortunately once I got to that point it was very, very hard to change that. So it's actually a couple of days later, and this is how much I have done. To be fair, the last time I was filming, so it'll be the most recent footage you'll be watching in this vlog. That moment was probably the best that the knitting was going that evening. I wish I was exaggerating when I say that I frogged this, aka ripped everything out and started over. I wish I was exaggerating when I said that I frogged this like more than 30, maybe even 40 times. Sometimes you just need reminders that you're a newbie. And I have been humbled very quickly, even though I have knitted before and I'm relearning now. This is actually going fairly well. There is one little section like right here. You can kind of see where like it's a little bit loose right here. And I'm not totally sure what happened because I did double check and I did not drop a stitch. So I'm not totally sure what happened in that moment, but it's so small and insignificant. And honestly, it's my first project and I think that there is beauty in just letting your small mistakes happen, especially when you're relearning something. But it's like late afternoon, early evening, and I feel like putting on a movie and doing some more work on this project. While I did frog the project a lot and restarted it, I will say I still agree with the fact that it is not that bad of a first project for someone if you're like just learning to knit, or if you're like me and you're like going back and like relearning how to knit. And let me explain myself, because it has like, I would say, all of the basics in it, with like your basic garter stitch and passing things back and forth. The I-cord edge is like a really nice, like interesting little detail so that you have a little bit more pizzazz in the project that you're making. Learning how to increase and decrease, I think, is really important when you're making anything, whether it's like knitting or crocheting. Like, I think it's such like an important part of like the basics of what you need to do. I am learning that I keep my stitches really tight, which is partly why I'm having so many issues. Something else that I'm learning too is that I have a tendency to stab like the middle of the yarn as opposed to actually like going through the loop here. So I know that as I am beginning, that I need to probably like slow down and really make sure that I am putting like my needle in the right spot. I'm definitely having some trial and error with it, but I think in the end the project is still gonna look really cute and something that I am really proud to wear, and also something that I would love to revisit, like even immediately after I make my first one. I will probably make 3 of these in a row if I'm being perfectly honest. guys, look at how much I've gotten done. It's actually pretty good. I'm pretty proud of myself. And like I said, the stitches could definitely be a little bit more even, whatever, but it's fine. I'm like relearning how to play the game. It's totally good. I'm a little bit under halfway. This is a really great project to start off with for the first time. And like I said, I know I frogged it a bunch before, but like I learned so much by actually getting into a project. And the thing that's kind of cool to me is that if I hadn't frogged this project so much, I think I could have easily finished this project by the time I would be editing and uploading this vlog. I really hope you enjoyed watching me learn how to knit. I had so much fun picking it back up and relearning how to do all these stitches. Definitely keep an eye out on like my YouTube posts, you know, like the little social feed, whatever, because I have a feeling within maybe the next day or two, I will probably finish this scarf and I will definitely put a photo of it in the feed to like share with you guys. But until the next one, please be kind to yourself, be kind to one another, take care of each other, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.